If I started a coffee cart business today, this is exactly what I would do. First is get the equipment right. A lot of people think that you can just start a coffee company or a coffee cart with cheap equipment because you're just getting started. But the truth is that the caliber of the equipment that you purchase really decides the type of event that you can service. For example, if your machine is pulling a shot of espresso and it takes 3 minutes to froth the milk and you can't pull a shot of espresso at the same time as you froth the milk, the quality of service that you can offer to an event that needs you to serve 200 people in 1 hour immediately goes down, and you're not really able to execute the events that you want to book. So even though it costs you more money up front to invest in commercial equipment, it absolutely will serve you for the remainder of your business, because you need to be able to serve commercial clients if you want to make commercial money. Secondly, is to recognize that there will be equipment that you need to purchase as you go. For example, we've had people book us before. Like I remember year one, somebody being like, can you service 2,000 people with drip coffee? And we're like, yes. And we absolutely didn't have that equipment. But we realized from this event, if we charge them what it would cost us to purchase the equipment, we wouldn't make any money on that event. But now we actually have the physical equipment to do events just like that in the future. So there are decisions that you make in saying yes to events, if it means charging the client whatever the profit margin is necessary to be able to execute that event, or even investing a little bit more. If you don't make money on that event, but it pays for you to be able to take that next step in your catering services, then it's worth it. We have a method which is buy as you book. If somebody asks you for an event that is beyond what you can do, say yes, figure out a way to make profit off of this event in a way that positions you to execute it, and then purchase what you need in order to do that event. We've done that many times. We've purchased equipment that we've needed because the client needed it, and then we ended up getting it after that event. And now we offer it in future events as a result. So first, what I would do today is get the equipment right. Second is that I would figure out my first 10 booking strategy. This is a really important part of the process, which is when you get your first 10 bookings, whether it's setting up your cart and doing a per cup event where you're selling coffee, or figuring out how to get catering services, whatever bookings you get, say yes. You learn something from every event. You might not make money on every event, especially if you're figuring out the pricing structure as you go, which is where Quigley Coffee really comes into help, because you will be positioned to make money off your first event. But while you're figuring out, you just need to say yes to every opportunity. And when somebody comes to you with an event idea and you feel overwhelmed because you're not sure that you can do it, don't say no, ask how. Like, get the client in the books, and then you do whatever it takes to make that happen. We've had many clients that have asked us for things that we did not offer, but we would call around and we'd figure out how to rent machines, how to rent things that we didn't have, or we'd buy them from scratch to then add them to our catering options in the future. But don't say no to bookings. Ask how, and get as many bookings as you can. Get the practice. You learn something from every event that you do, and it's always, always worth it. The third thing I would do is really master my pricing strategy. Understanding your baseline for what it takes for you to operate your coffee cart at a healthy profit margin that includes your COGS being healthy, your payroll being healthy, making sure that you allot the taxes aside. Getting the pricing structure is probably the most important thing. But the cheat code for a good business owner is learning how to upsell. When you are selling a coffee cart client, you don't just want to say, this is the product of coffee that we have. We sell a single origin Colombia, because the truth is the client doesn't care about your single origin Colombia. They want to know that you can serve 200 people in 1 hour, and the coffee is going to be really good, and it's going to be clean, and it's going to be fast. And so how can you, as the business owner or as the cart owner, sell more to your client? How can you upsell your cart? Maybe it's adding additional drinks. Maybe it's adding customization. Maybe it's adding a second cart. Maybe it's adding more baristas. But in your conversation, you figure out what exactly does the client need, and how can we make it special? How can we make their event unforgettable, and continue upselling so that we can get this baseline ticket item up to the highest value that it can be. They feel seen, they feel heard, and they're excited about their booking. That's the question you gotta ask. Lastly, the thing that I would do differently is I would change my social media approach, because the truth is that our world cares about aesthetic. And I think so many business owners think that branding and that design in general, aesthetic, kind of like, it's not as important as the product. And I would just say, the famous phrase, phone eats first, where like you get a plate of food and the first thing you do is take a picture of your food. That's because our world, as much as we want to say don't judge a book by its cover, is absolutely judging your business by its cover. And so it's really important that your branding looks good, that you look professional, that you look aesthetically pleasing. It's not just about having the right grammar in the words on your website. It's really about it being eye-catching, about it being trendy, And truthfully, most business owners are not all of those things. What I mean by that is many business owners are either the operations person, the brand person, the design person, or the media person, the HR person. Depending on your skill set, what you bring to the table, that's what you do. But very few people are good at all of it. Very few people are good at operations, business, finances, and branding. This is where Quigley Coffee comes into play. When you join the Quigley Coffee business and you become a business partner, you are no longer carrying the weight of the brand. In fact, every single month we resource our franchisees with the graphics that they're going to use to promote. They fully get an equipped website and a booking form, all of the workflows needed to thrive. And you don't have to worry about the weight of making sure that it's aesthetically pleasing or anything like that. That is completely handled for you, and the brand awareness is taken care of. It's one of the things that I find peace about, because I know that branding is not my specialty. I for sure thrive in like the business HR world, but I appreciate that we've got the brand designers who love what they do and who know much more about it than I do. And so I'm going to lean on them for help. And that's why franchises, truthfully, are more successful than people who start something from scratch, because you have a team of people to lean on. And so if you want to join the Quigley Coffee team, we'd love to talk to you about what that looks like. You can click the link below and let's schedule an introductory call. And I'd love to hear your story. So I just shared what I would do if I started a coffee cart in 2026. But if I started a coffee cart today, here's what I wouldn't do. First thing is I would not expect per cup events to be enough. What is a per cup event? It's basically when you're selling individual cups of coffee, either like a food truck event or a farmer's market or something like that. And the reality is that while those events are maybe consistent in some revenue, the revenue itself is not consistent. For example, one of our business partners just did 2 per cup events last week. One per cup event, she made $761 in 2 hours. That's awesome. The next day, she had a different per cup event where she stood in the sun for 5 hours and she made $160. So the difference between relying on per cup events that are really taking hours of your day, but there's no guaranteed income, versus getting catering events in the books where the security deposits are consistent. You know that you're going to make a baseline amount that's going to put you at a healthy profit margin. But I will say the difference is switching your mindset from being a barista to a salesman. Baristas can set up coffee carts and serve a few cups of coffee, and it's not a big deal. Business owners, entrepreneurs become salespeople, and they go door to door and they go fishing for clients, and they care about their client relationships, and they do whatever it takes to be a preferred vendor and learn the relationships in the hospitality industry, where they are positioned to make way more revenue than just doing per cup events that are inconsistent. And if you want to watch us build our franchise company in real time, make sure that you like and subscribe, because we are sharing everything that we're doing, the wins, the losses, what's working, what's not working, what we would change. And we're just documenting it because we want to be able to look back and see how we've grown. We'd love to see you subscribe, and we will see you in our next video.